Hello, Tony. I'm still trying to figure out if everything works. There's going to be a small delay. The light is not optimal because it's almost midnight here. Just let me know if everything looks alright, I guess. And if not, I will try and work without. Hello. Is slightly more awkward than just sitting around and recording myself talking about shoes, and especially more surreal doing this at midnight when everybody else is in different places in the world. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, there's my second favorite person. My first is his dog. But just so you know, it's not gonna be just me rambling about things. Well, I guess that's possible as well. But theoretically, it would be really nice if people actually had questions or things to ask, or I don't know, about shoes, about tailoring, about this city, or how on earth I managed to do a live stream last moment without any previous knowledge or capture card. So let's see if and who shows up. But apart from my two biggest fans, apparently. Yes, I'm in Florence since the beginning of November. So the pretty much short version of the story is that well, I was born in Greece and then I moved to do my master's in engineering in Sweden. And for the last 2-3 years, I've been planning my escape from that hellhole. So I always planned to come here, and finally it was the right time to do that, thankfully. And I will be staying here for the foreseeable future. My school has been delayed for 2.5 months. Hi, Steve. Nice to have you here too. So my school has been delayed for about 2.5 months, but instead, I was supposed to start in was the date in about 2 weeks, a bit less, 10 days. I was supposed to start shoe school here, but due to everybody's favorite pandemic, not everyone could travel, and for safety reasons, so it got pushed back to April. So instead, I will be doing in the same place. They offered me a free course of making bags and accessories, which is quite relevant, I suppose. Yes. So the ideal plan is going to be that I'm going to be making bespoke shoes, bags, and accessories. Hopefully, sort of start practicing that from next year. And it really depends on I don't know if Bemer is going to offer me a I don't know, internship after our job. So we'll see how that goes. But the plan is to make my own shoes and accessories in the near future. And there's my favorite Trini. Was the streets to a different country, city for me? Actually, since I was born in Greece and just all this place is the Mediterranean, it felt quite familiar, if I'm honest. We have a saying in Greece about the Italians, una faccia, one face, una razza, one race, because we are quite similar people in culture and food. So actually the transition to here was quite easy. Yeah, experience in engineering. Yes and no. Now the problem is that when you're usually an engineer, you're quite structured, and you see the world in a very different way, like sort of how mathematicians do and architects do. So I see details that people would probably not notice or not bother at all. And I suppose that can help with vision, pattern making, little things like these, or even building and running the business. So not really, but yes, I suppose there are a lot of applications and the whole workflow that you have when you're an engineer that you can apply into the whole shoemaking thing, right? I haven't created the pattern yet. Uh, Probably you're far away, like a bit more further away than I am when it comes to that, right? So no, not yet. I think so. The way the school works is for the first 3 months you're sort of like an apprentice level, and you start by learning how to last, how to work with the leather, and you start just by making a like you get a small piece of the toe area of the shoe, and you learn to last it, and you learn to nail it and everything. Then slowly you move on to like a full shoe, and usually something easy like I don't know, like a derby or slippers, loafers, and I guess pattern making will be a part a part of that and afterwards. Well, Steve, that's the problem of being in an industry and an era where everybody wants to fit the most amount of people. And for example, the most amount of people when it comes to tailoring now, for some reason, they favor modern, very slim cuts. So it's really harder. It's much harder to find something that is more relaxed or for bigger people because they want to just fit everyone. And it's the same with shoes. Everybody seems to be favoring more narrow and square shaped lasts and almond toes, and usually that will not look so great if you do a wider last and a wider fit. I suppose that's where made to measure comes in. Sometimes made to order, and of course bespoke. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but we'll see what we can work with. And that's my other favorite Canadian. I have my whole army of 9 friends here. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to talk about. So the plan was, well, the idea was to, I almost said to build a team of remarkable people, but that's the Avengers line. What do I want to say? Yes, the idea was to go for about an hour and just discuss life and talk about shoes. I don't know how long it's gonna stretch. Depends how many people are and how many people talk. So we'll see. Um, the Santos do not have any wide lasts for GMTOs. So I mean, it's a very interesting thing if you think about it, because actually most of the Santos lasts are wide, like they're proper E. 90% of the last, I would say. That's why most people have to size down half on them. And if they go natural, true to size, they're like, oh, there's too much space on the instep, there's too much on the toe box, they're too elongated. So that can be a problem. And I can think of at least 5 lasts that are like this. They don't have something that you would say is double E or triple E. But for regular E width, so I would say it could be quite accommodating. So about patinas, I'm actually a terrible shoe signer and more terrible with colors. But since I mean, I started Santos selling Santos and working with Santos because I really love this patina idea, and it seems to be taking over the world everywhere. And it really fascinated me that you can apply so many colors and create so many different concepts with just a brush, pretty much, and different colors. So one of the things that they teach you in Sue School is how to make a proper shine. But I think that I would like to learn how to hand paint the shoes with a distinctive patina as well. So who knows? Maybe I will go to Greg Park, Hancor, and just ask him to teach me something or do an online course. So we'll see. What do I take from British Northampton shoe aesthetic to Italian versatility design? Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of English shoes because they have remained exactly the same, and that doesn't seem to work out so well in this industry these days. Foster and Sons disappeared. There are sales all over the place. There are a few good brands, but some others that are really overpriced at the high segment. Like there has been a massive increase if you check, for example, Edward Green of the last 10 years for their original pricing. I suppose that you could get their consistency, and heritage, and it really depends that if you want to, depends what the aesthetic you want to do, right? You cannot just try and make Italian shoes and sell UK styles. So solid construction, consistency, and some source of like history or heritage. I think it's pretty good. They still have pretty decent leathers as well, especially their suede. If you were to own shoes from only one maker, which one would it be and why, apart from Paul Parkman? So I've seen more attractive gangrenous wounds than Paul Parkman shoes, and I would rather wear cargo pants and listen to Rebecca Black for a month instead of buying those shoes. It's difficult. It really depends on the budget. You know, the first one that popped into my head was based on value and quality was Yeosao. They just fit my foot so good, like their SG65 last fits me so good. I don't have to do anything. Just they look great. They're great value, and I think that my first option would be that. If we go on the higher end, I don't know. Paulo Scafora is my favorite at the moment. In the lower segment, I mean, I'm really biased, but Carlos Santos fills all my needs and pretty much everyone's needs. What's the worst part of owning a shoe store? Even though shoes that cost $400 or $300 are considered expensive for most people, they're still entry level, and there's no other way to say it. There's a lot of self-entitled pricks, let's call them, they get quite angry and pissed off and want to be treated like they're kings, and they don't give respect back. And other people that they they lie a lot, like, no, I haven't worn the shoes, but it's obviously worn in the return pictures. Somehow they return the shoes in the boxes. It's really ridiculous. They should be treated the same way they treat you. I mean, there's a balance. So that, and of course the stress of running a business and trying to keep growing, but also keep your quality and integrity, I suppose. Hi Graham. Um, I'll try. I'll try not to touch on that subject very much because I don't have the best relationship with those people and the way they've treated me. So I'll try to be subjective and objective on this. I saw it coming quite a while ago. It's really tough in the industry, and especially in a city that is so expensive like Stockholm, to have a physical store with so many employees and so expensive shoes when it's also in the middle of a pandemic. It would be pretty impossible to sustain. And what you would probably see is that this whole shift, not only to casual but also to this online thing, you will see that many brands, they were not prepared for this. So a lot of companies spent the first year of the pandemic, let's say, trying to fast track their online segment. So Crockett and Jones, after billions of years, released their website, and Septième Largeur did a new website. Their previous one was terrible, and they still work with it. Pierre Cortet, Acme Shoemaker, Year and Shoemaker released a new one. So you can see the trend. There's a lot of shift online to less inventory, more custom orders, I would say. Did you notice I was on the business profile? However, which Goodyear welted brand is the best sub 600? I don't think there is one. It's very difficult to say. Like, if I show you the chaos that I have here, I got too many shoes from pretty much all different segments. It really, I would say, depends on what you're looking for. I would say if you're looking for a British aesthetic, a classic one, you cannot beat Crockett and Jones. If you're looking for a country shoe, you would be looking at probably Trickers, maybe Cheney, and then you pretty much got the Spaniards. Are you looking for patinas? You will be looking like Carlos Santos, Chetim Lazar, or maybe Colenco. Uh, if you're looking to shoot yourself on the foot, probably try Carmina's MTO. And I mean, if you're on a budget, what are you gonna get? Probably Mermin, or I guess Allen Edmonds on their, always sale if you're on the States. Alfred Sargent. I haven't tried them personally. I've heard really good things about them, and Paul Sargent now. They're really nice people. They've been struggling to get going again with a new format, and it kind of makes sense. I really wish them the best. Back in the day, I think they were making also shoes for was it Gaziano and Girling, and that shows that their quality for their top range was pretty high, right? So I suppose I will try them in the future. There is a problem with all this Brexit thing, because all with import taxes and everything, it's additional cost, especially in Europe. I don't know how popular they were there. So I really wish them the best. I think they're a pretty underrated brand, at least. Worst experience with a customer and with a seller. Worst experience with a customer. I have about 10. I remember each one of them. I remember their names. I remember where they live. I remember what they bought. I remember what the problem was. One terrible man was from Canada who thought he was buying Paolo Scaffara shoes for $300, and he paid Canadian import fees, and then he went on Google and left a bad review. Whatever. There was this recent guy that told me that after 7-8 wears, his Carlos Santos shoes did not work so well, and they were not so good as his Scaffara and super high-end shoes. And he told me he lost a customer, and I don't care. I don't want this kind of customers. But if I really think about who is the worst was a doctor from France. His name was Pierre. So Pierre ordered a pair of boots, and it was a classic jumper boot Carlos Santos sells. So I sent the shoes. He receives them. He says, "I don't like them. I want to send them back." I'm like, okay, sure. He sends it back, and I go to pick it up on the local post office, and it's a huge box. It's like this. I'm like, what's going on? So the guys that at the post office, they start laughing, and I'm like, why are you laughing? And he's like, look at the box. So the guy apparently was a gynecologist, and the box he used was those clamps that you spread the woman's lady bits with, and he decided it was a good idea to use that box. I'm like, okay, why is the box so big? I opened the box, and he just dumped the shoe box without any protection or closure inside, and the shoes were all over the place. From some kind of like miracle, there was not even a scratch on the boots, so they were resellable. But I did send him a mail, and I told him, I hope you treat your patients' vaginas better than my shoes. And I blocked him from the shop ever again. With a seller, I cannot tell you that. It's people that know me know who that is. But let's say that there is enough of the pie for everyone to eat in the shoe industry, even if it's sort of declining, you would say. There is enough. And it's better to make allies and be nice to people and receive something nice back than just being rude and threaten them and try to put them out of business. So that's what I would say. Oh, let's see. Let's see. Yeah. Well, at least you're 13 here. So if it keeps going like this, I'm not gonna go through it, too much. So, as well, we have been already talking about 20 minutes. So maybe instead, I can go through some of the stuff with you. Well, that was quick. That was quick because I keep everything everywhere. So, about who asked me before about my favorite brands. So, these are my usual split toe derbies. Is it my only split toe derby at the moment? Technically, yes. I wear them whenever I just want to put something on, and it's just so comfy. They're really good shoes. Like, I've done miles in them, and they're still looking pretty good. I'm very happy with them. They did a great job. So that's one. This is the Yearn Derby. Derby, sorry. Split toe, sort of Norwegian single monk. It's pretty decent. The squeaking has gone a bit. I think the problem is a bit with the last on my foot. It doesn't fit as well as I wanted. I'm really picky right now, and I have a bit more sensitive feet, so I'm not technically using them too much. I will set them for special occasions. And this is an underrated shoe. My only double monk strap at the moment, and it's in sort of light blue. Very underrated color. You should get shoes in light blue or dark blue. It's really versatile and really cool. I am wearing pants. Yes, I'm wearing pants. However, this is what I'm wearing under and nobody knows. This will be on record now. You have much contact with a shoegazing guy. Actually, yes and no. I find it really nice and flattering that he always just looks at my blog and my articles, and in a lot of occasions he makes corrections, which I would miss, or he just uses his expertise. I also had what was it? Was it last year? Something like last year. It's been 2 years already. We had an interview, and in his podcast. So that was, I think, the last time we met. And from time to time we just talk and about random stuff, usually shoes, and me begging for the London trunk show to happen again. But I always follow him and what he writes. Yes, I know you love the split toe derbies. Me too, actually. They've been phenomenal. Athos has been selling their in-house brands for under 100. What's the deal? I don't know much about that. With the English brands, I've only dealt with Pediwear, whose website is a bit shitty to say the least, but they're really nice people and it's a small family business. They also had an in-house line, and the other has been looking at is Herring, of course, and of course Santos, excuse me, among other brands makes some of their shoes. With Athos, I don't know, I haven't checked it out. I suppose, unless it's on sale right now, that it's probably either Blake or some Goodyear welded that is just made in India or something. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, if you're really on a budget and you need something, I think it will be okay. Better than buying cemented shoes, at least. Navy shoes are always winners. That's true. Slippers, shearling slippers, actually. I bought them from Etsy, and I think they're my cheapest pair of shoes. I have the Loca. So my first ever shoe, Goodyear welted shoe, was the Loke 1880, and it was the Aldwych model. So their classic Oxford. And then I bought the Chatsworth, which was a Chelsea boot. Initially, I thought that they were pretty nice, and then I realized that the leather is not so great, and I could do better for the price. They are okay. They're okay. I would probably buy the 1880 if I wanted something just classic British, I suppose. The export range is too expensive. Probably the leather is better, but for that price, it doesn't fit my aesthetic. I think I would buy something else, or use the money and, I don't know, a little more, and maybe buy Crocodile Jones, I suppose. That's all of my questions for now. What should I show you? So one of the reasons that I'm going to keep the stream a little short is because tomorrow I'm going to Lanieri here in Bologna, and I'm going to make a new suit. So we'll see how that goes. But I suppose for the few people that are here that I can let you in on what's going on with the with the shop and what are the sort of the plans for this year. Um, I cannot disclose too much, but I'm working on adding some brands in the shop, and one of them is quite popular, so we'll see how that goes. And I've been also in talks with Norman Villalta, whose shoes I really like as well. And he's finalizing the collection that I will have in my shop. And we will be doing also some group made to orders, and I'll have some exclusive unique colors on my shop. So we will see how that goes. They're really good shoes, and they're nice people to work with. So I'm quite excited about that. Slow and steady, I suppose. Then it's also, it's the school. So I will be trying to possibly make a separate YouTube channel and try to document things that I do in kind of I don't know, like a vlog. Or I could live stream some things that I'll be probably doing. We'll see. But on the beginning, I'll be making bags and accessories for about 10 weeks until the end of April. So some of them might creep up in my Instagram, on the blog. I will see. We'll see. The way this is going, I will keep it going for, I don't know, maybe 10 more minutes. And let me see if I can spam it somewhere in case someone else wants to take a look. By the way, it's me asking you, because this is the first time I do things. So what I've done pretty much is I connected the camera directly to my computer, and there is a microphone here as well. Of course it's night, so the light is not perfect, but how's the overall quality and how's the sound most important for me at the moment? If you would let me know, I'd love it. And that's about it. Let's see. Great. Sorry. Wool cashmere hoodie a while ago. How am I liking it? Actually, I am sleeping in it. I like it so much. I bought this matching set so I could sleep in it because I like to be toasty. And when you put the hoodie on, you get this immediate warmth on your ears. It's pretty cool. Since I've been wearing it a lot, it's been peeling more. But also this turtleneck is from the same company, and it's been doing great. They're constantly on sale. I can really recommend them. I'm really happy with them. Any other exploration into loungewear? I mean, I don't know how to do casual. For me this is casual. The hoodie was the first one I got in years, so it was really strange. How do I do this? So foray into casual, not so much in the shop. I will try to get some more pieces and things to review, at least on the blog, and eventually to do things on YouTube as well, because it's not just shoes, but they keep coming in. But I do plan to do some more things, hopefully with some sneakers and some more casual shoes and boots in the shop at least. Do I have plans to start my own brand in the future? So that's also in the works, and I'm gonna make them in Italy with a very famous shoemaker. That's the plan. We'll see how that goes. But whatever I do with my Bespoke will be probably separate for later. But there will be my own brand in house, hopefully hand welted between 500 and 700 US dollars. That's the plan. Croydon Jones vs TLB Majorca Artista. So the David, difficult. It really depends on what you enjoy. Construction wise and for the features you get, quite possibly TLB Artista is better. You get a nicer looking sole, you get a nice stitching density, but personally I don't like their leathers. It didn't look too rich to me, and I am terrible at shining it as well. So I had a TLB Artista and I sold it last year. Crockett and Jones does more conservative. I think their black and brown wax calf, as well as Scotch grain, they are phenomenal. They're really, really, really good. Really good. So if you're going for those aesthetics and the classic ones, I would probably pick those. If you're a bit on a smaller budget, I would still take the TLB Artista, especially over Carmina. Sounds good but quiet. Could turn up the gain. So that's exactly where my microphone is. I can bring it closer. There's my microphone. So maybe you can hear me a bit better now. But I'll have it. I'll think about it for the next time. Also, hello. Sounds good. Sounds good. Video is not very sharp. I'll work on that as well. But there is going to be a little grainy because there's only artificial light at the moment here. It's almost midnight. What's the name of the company that sells the hoodie? The company's name is Gobi, Gobi, Gobi Kashmir, and you can find a review on my blog as well if you want to just read about them. I'm really happy. I'm only buying cashmere pieces from them at the moment. Will you finish with a dad joke? Depends if he's going to laugh. I'll try to think of something. Probably something inappropriate that I can't say in the usual YouTube videos. Another question, can you order any CJ model or only what's listed on my site? So apart from Crockett & Jones exclusives, which are, you know, the James 007 version or the Ross and those kind of things, I can source any Crockett & Jones model that's on the bench grade and hand grade. So for those, you just have to email me and just tell me what you want and your size, and I can probably source it, no problem. The video is a lot sharper for me now. Okay, it could be the autofocus as well. I still haven't worked it out properly, so I'll work on that as well. Thank you. Great, no problem, Andrew. They're pretty good shoes. I only have one pair from them right now, which is a black derby, and the only reason that I'm going to sell it is because I really don't wear black at the moment. But their black calf especially, it's buttery smooth. It's really, really nice. But I think my favorite is their my favorite is probably their Scotch grain. It's so rich. It's really rich grain. It's excellent, and no wonder the Coniston is one of the most popular models. Now, when it comes to the YouTube, like I said, I want to do some more clothing and stuff, but I probably need a proper studio because first, I'm doing this by myself, so it's really hard to just go around and film myself. And the second part is like this: I do everything in my house, so how I'm gonna show you how like a shoot fits properly? It's a little hit and miss. I'll think about it. Let's see, vintage buys on eBay. Leather has been wonderful. Tanneries. I don't think the thing is just the tanneries. It's also what kind of leather the companies can source from, and I don't think so much the way they do things has changed. At least, sorry, in the last 10 years. I think they just companies cut some corners or do some worse clicking, for example. They are quite stiff as well, though. The Pembroke. So the Pembroke, be careful. Some of the Pembroke, the one that is really shiny, it has a calf that's called cavalry calf. Cavalry calf is just a fancy way to say shiny leather, or what's the I forgot the word. That type of leather where they do this sort of coating on the top, so it becomes more shiny. Think of Dr. Martens, but in a more high level. It's not bad, but it's not as good in my opinion as, you know, regular good proper calfskin. And if it cracks, it will, or it just can be crease really nastily. Antonio Macariello versus G&G mainline. Gaziano and Girling is the only English brand that I really like in the high end, but I would take any day of the week Antonio Macariello if I could, based on quality and aesthetics. I think you get much more bang for your buck as well from them. Corrected grain. That's the one I was looking for. Seen it in the boutique. 10 Scotch greens. Thanks for the advice. You're welcome. It's pretty cool for sure. Yeah, corrected grain can be hit and miss, and the worst culprit of all this is probably churches, which churches is it's like one of the banes of my existence, I would say. No, there are worse ones. It's quite difficult now. The biggest problem with the industry is also that everybody says handmade, and nothing is really handmade. You know, the Urine Shoemaker ones that I reviewed last time, they're actually genuinely handmade for $470 US. But of course, that doesn't make them perfect. Vash Budapest is also quite close. Yeah, bookbinder as well. Polished leather. There are so many interchangeable terms that even I probably don't use the correct terms yet. Like, you could say split toe derby, and it could really be just a reverse split, or it could be a skin stitch. That's Scotch grain is regular calfskin, and it's just embossed on the pattern because there's no natural pattern like this, right? And that's fine because also it has this grain texture, so it usually creases the creases show less as well. It's a bit more durable as well, I would say so. So don't worry about that, at least when looking at Scotch grain. One of my favorites when you're going for that kind of aesthetic is also kudu leather. I did the Sons of Henry quite recently, and their kudu boots are really nice. Will I have a double monk grain GMTO in shoe version? Possible. They've been quite difficult to sell lately. I'm not sure why, because I still think since the fame has died down now, and they're not as popular anymore, I think that right now is the time to have those. Grain leather has been pretty good if I'm judging from the split toe derbies that I made at the shop. So why not? I would probably do something more aggressive, maybe with a commando sole, even like a Vibram light commando sole. Who knows? And a very chiseled soft square last. You're always welcome to mail me advice. I mean, just what was it? 3 weeks ago we did samples, and there is a lot of cool stuff happening. There is going to be the single monk, so we'll see how that goes, and then we'll figure it out. Why not? Grain patina. I'm up for it for sure. Somehow we've stretched this to 40 minutes. I will see if I can actually stretch it to an hour, because it's gonna be nice just for midnight. And then I just need to figure out how I'm gonna do the whole clothing thing in YouTube. Well, it's not so many of you here, but thanks for watching. Thanks for bearing the silly dad jokes. Thanks for sending me dad jokes, actually. I got a few regulars in. There are a lot of bad ones that I cannot say during the videos because they're politically correct these days. But I don't even remember how that trend started. It was just random, I just wanted to find something unique, and I really liked them. And I remember there was this video where I just stopped and didn't have one, and people were asking me, where are they? Are they coming back? And please bring them back. And that was pretty funny. And quite unexpected, I would say. Let's see. I have something to show you. Just give me a moment. There we go. So, for those that don't know, these are my Stingray hole cuts. The only hole cut I have, and probably the most strange shoe that I have in my collection, I suppose. You cannot see them properly in this light, I suppose. They appear very light and very flashy. I was very surprised how subtle they can be when they are on feet. Like, I think they look pretty cool. I wore them in PT Uomo for the last day, and it was pretty cool. And nobody would have something like this. I'm really looking forward to working with this leather in the future. And these are from Mafte Vienna, so from like the Bespoke shoemaker. And he's quite an old chap. I don't know. I don't know if he might be 85. He might be 90. And I hope he's okay because I heard he contracted COVID some month ago. Talking about politically incorrect, which brands do you think are the most overrated? Let me think about that. My first that popped on in my mind is Carmina. In that price segment, I think they should be priced lower. I think I'd rather be publicly executed twice instead of going over this CNS and Paul Parkman hype. When you go up the tires, despite what I'm going to make some changes about the Edward Green stuff that I've said before, but I still think that they're overpriced for what you pay for what you get. I do think Acme is a little overrated in a way because I don't know. I'm trying to figure out their original designs, and I don't see their identity yet. Even though their shoes are fantastic, right? And I found it. Pierre Cortet. Name one shoe from Pierre Cortet other than the Arca without cheating. So I think that's the one. Even though they might make some really striking shoes and those really weird ones that they make with their Bespoke, I think that I would never ever pay $2,000 for this. Obviously, Churches, probably John Lobb as well. Paul Parkman. I got a thing for Paul Parkman. I found another one. So I found a lot of them. Lower end, Meslan and Magnani. I'd rather burn my money and burn yours as well. And which one? The other one? And I forgot about it. I had a good one. Yes, Paul Evans. Do not buy Paul Evans. Do not, or I will fine you. Yeah, Steve. I've done a review of Cenas from the lower end, at least when was it, a long time ago, and they sent me a review pair, and first of all it was used, which is not a good sign, but of course I did not complain because it was a review pair. But if I was a customer, I would be annoyed. And also, I mean, I did not say so bad things about them, but there were nothing positive. I felt they were flat. The leather was not so great, and then what happened? They told me thanks and stopped talking to me completely. And this is not the attitude, I think. Edward Green has the heritage. Okay, Edward Green shoes are not bad. The ones that I got, they turned out to be factory seconds, so the seller lied to me. So I'm gonna amend some things. They're still good shoes. I just do not think that they're worth that price point. If they were maybe $700-800, okay, I could deal with that. But almost double that, no. Yep, the watches. So, fun fact: since I've been in Italy, I've been learning Italian. So when I did the watch review, I kept calling them Vincero, Vincero, or something like Vincero or something like this. So the real way to say that crappy thing is Vincero, because it's pretty much how you say in Italian, I win, to win. And the same happened when I reviewed, showcased one of the Paolo Scafora models. And you notice how I say Scafora now, it's not Scafora. It's Paolo Scafora. And it was like this gray monk strap, and I said something like grigio or something, but the real way to say it is grigio, like it literally means gray in Italian. My Sinus pair was on sale. Yes, I mean that's fine. The biggest problem I had selling such shoes like Cines was that nobody wanted to pay anything. Their resale value is horrific. So if you plan to get them and when one day sell them, be prepared to take a heavy loss. I think I sold my Cines for $70. That was nothing. If I try to get a friend into proper shoes, which shoe would be a good recommendation? Some brown chocolates. It really depends what they wear. If obviously it's mostly suit wear, I would probably take a nice dark brown derby, something like this, something that you can wear with everything. If he's on a more casual side, I even wear suits, but they are more like this, separates or very casual wear. Dark brown chacas, dark brown suede chacas, I think they're fail safe. Worst case black, but I would go with dark brown for sure. 30, is that 30 US dollars, Kelvin, or is it 30 Trini dollars? So there's also a Greek comment that I will translate for you that says that there is a big gap in the market of Greece, where I come from, when it comes to good quality shoes. There are a few brands, 400 euros, but it's better to burn your money. That can be a big problem as well when you're looking at more designer brands. It can be an issue for sure because they overprice them. Usually when I was in Greece, as well as in Italy, if you go around and look at shoes here and there, you would find shoes like Loke, or if you'd go to some Brook Brothers in Athens, and you would find some overpriced Allen Edmonds, which you should definitely burn your money instead. It is difficult, and people are a bit like sheep and follow the trends. So if a big influencer comes out and says buy these shoes, they go and buy these shoes, and they don't know about anything. The biggest problem I saw in PT Uomo when I was there was that everybody was in the super sharp shoe, like suits and clothes, and their shoe game was horrible. Like not even polished, cemented shoes, horrible shoes, ugly styles. Nobody paid any attention, and for me that deters and just destroys the whole style, I would say. Hi Roger, nice to see you. I hope you've been liking your boots. Actually, I always keep mine here. Where am I going? I can do it another time. I always keep my shearling kudu boots as close as possible because they're the easiest to put on and off and just go rampaging around the city here. And my friend Kevin says that he sold his Cines pretty much for 30 Trinidad dollars, which is $3? No, 3 or $0.3, and that makes complete sense. Let's see. Boots are amazing. I'm gonna be working more with a bit more casual designs and more, we'll call them explosive designs in the future. Like it started when we made those group made to orders of those really nice like jumper boots with a really slim profile and the commando sole and like a bold patina Scots grain, and they were like, people were really happy to have them. I did not see that coming. I think also I will probably do not exactly a guide, because I've done this on the blog, like a video comparing a few shoe trees from different brands, because I've seen some really horrible ones, some pretty good ones, and it's shocking how everything can vary from $30 and you go up to $150 and you get nothing proper. So we'll see how that goes. All right, let's go on for 11 more minutes, and in the meantime I will try to come up with a pretty bad joke, I suppose. I guess if you wait a minute, I can give you a quick sneak peek of the shell cordovan boots, which are pretty cool. So give me a moment. So these are going to someone in Finland, very special friend. Thank you very, very much. I will be making a video showcasing a few more models. So these are the only pair of shell cordovan shoes, not boots, in the world from Carlos Santos. I've been nagging them for 2 years, 2.5 to make something, and I think they're pretty cool. Like you can see in the camera maybe from the color, but they are burgundy. They're really cool, and I was quite impressed. So this is like the Galway, the classic model with a storm welt and one of my new favorite rubber soles. They're pretty cool. I think they were a bit overpriced because we had to buy only one height for these, but they were royally cool. I'm really excited for them. Very few doing lasted shooters these days. I suppose. Usually when you go into the higher end, you will find lasted shooters and it makes sense. In the lower price segment, it doesn't make so much sense. I think Vash Budapest makes lasted shooters, and even though they look pretty generic, I think the worst lasted shooters, especially for the price that I've seen, is the Edward Green ones. They don't even look lasted, to be fair, even though they call them that. They were even though the quality was good, the fit and the feeling it was not as good. Let's see, trees, generic cedar trees. So you should definitely read the shootry guide on the blog. Be careful with what shoe trees you put inside your shoes, because if you put the wrong type of tree, it can ruin. Let me see. Do I have any generic ones here? I do. So these are your run-of-the-mill cedar shoe trees, right? And these are the ones that you should be going for pretty much. So one with a split toe, like here, split toe, and a proper heel on the back. If it's too narrow on the back, what it will do is pretty much deform the shoe, because it will push this side and it will narrow, it's like pushing it like this, and it would deform the shoe. So I do not recommend that. And also, if this is too big for the shoe, it can overstretch it and it can destroy the uppers. So be very careful with what you buy. You can buy pretty good shoe trees for $20-25 for sure. Let's see if I convince them to make them more. I will if people are willing to spend $900 on them again. But I do have some Adelaide Oxfords coming in shell cordovan from them as well, and one from me, so I'll also make a video when they come. Let's see, GG shoes, trees. Yeah, I mean, at this stage when you're going such a high level, I think it's really worth it to go with lasted shoe trees. They are expensive. I really recommend to you to watch a video of how lasted shoe trees are made. St. Crispin's has an amazing video probably on their channel. You can just Google it on on YouTube search to just check it out, how they drill and they make everything. It takes hours to make. It's not a simple job. I think St. Crispin's employs one person specifically to make the shoe trees. So at least have that in mind. They can be expensive because they take a long time to make and people need to get paid. As for the EGR and lasted, that I cannot promise. I've heard they fit other shoes as well, so that's kind of disappointing. I mean, you pay $1,400. Shouldn't you get lasted shoe trees? Let's see. I have a pair of the two-eyelid derby as long as my wife. Soon I will be making wallets and bags and briefcases, so maybe you can manipulate your wife and getting something for her as well. As much as I don't like St. Crispin shoes, I'm not a fan. Their lasted shoe trees are amazing, and also they have this small little pouch that is scented inside, and it's really phenomenal. I really don't know how they do it. I wish I could find something like that to put in my boxes. It gives it a really nice scent. Carmina put the shoe trees of S9. Sorry, what does that mean? I'm not sure what that means, Vicky. Tell us about the jacket you're wearing before you go. So this is Suit Supply, one of my. I think Suit Supply is one of the brands that It's like a dead horse, and I keep beating it. But they still have some decent stuff, and I use this most as separates. This was part of a three-piece suit. I rarely wear it as a three-piece. I wore it at PT Uomo. My biggest problem with Suit Supply is the quality over the years, and the fact that their trousers are really low-waisted, and they also pretend like they're made in Savile Row when they're made in China, even though they're decent. Oh, size 99.5. It can be a problem. I mean, usually in shooters you will not find half sizes. That's the problem with lower end brands. Maybe the Carmina ones do not fit as well. There are some that fit really snug. For example, on the Mafte one, this is not lasted, but it's a real struggle to get it out. Like a real struggle to get it out and in. So it can be a problem. Skolix has pretty good accessories and stuff. And here's a tip for you, everyone. If you're getting some heel slip, usually, especially in loafers, what that means is that there's probably too much space on the instep, which is that part of the foot. So when there's space here, while you're walking, your foot moves back, front, right? So it develops some heel slip. So what you do is you get some suede tongue pads, not heel pads, and they go under the tongue, and they push your instep backward, like down, so your foot goes backwards. They cost like $10-15. They are lifesavers, like really lifesavers. I really recommend checking them out. Ismail, thank you. Hope you like them. Hope you love them. It was my second pair of Santos shoes, and my first pair was bought from a famous, let's say, Swedish company. It doesn't speak to me anymore. And then I bought these jumper boots as well. And after that, I decided that, you know what, I want to sell shoes for a living, and that's how it started. The only lasted shoe trees have come with my Alpha Sergeant split toes from the country range, bought on eBay. Very good beech trees. I like beech wood more than cedar, and it's not just more of the scent. Septième Largeur uses them, and they feel really nice. They feel slightly lighter, and they feel nicer to touch as well. So those costed 35 euros, was $40 US, and they were pretty good. I really liked them. They were not lasted, of course, but still. And I think that Justin Fitzpatrick also has some light alderwood shoe trees. Sometimes he also makes some, how you say it, like some bundles or some sales, and they're also travel light. Those are plastic, I think. Pretty good value. Hi Daniel. Le Fantung, it's pretty much the name of the owners, and Löf, for example, means leaf in Swedish. Because I don't have a great relationship, nor I want to have with those guys, I will not ever review their shoes, and I don't think they care either. They're probably decent shoes. They're made in the same factory in Almansa in Spain, where most of the brands are made. In that area, they're probably decent shoes. If you're in, if you like what they sell at that price point, they will probably be okay. I don't know so much about wood, but actually, I really liked how the beech wood looks like, because it doesn't have this orange tint that cedar has. It doesn't have so much of a smell, and I don't know, it just felt nicer to touch. Also, there is another type of shoe tree. Here we go. So those are the elastic ESL ones, which are $70-80 nothing for lasted trees. They're pretty good. They fit really nice. They also have a pretty nice ergonomic handle compared to others. You can see that there's much more support as well here, and that this proper shape. They're also a bit more travel light. They fit pretty well, and they're pretty easy to use as well, and just put in and out. The thing is that I'm not sure exactly what type of wood this is, but it has a more lacquered finish. So be careful with those because they don't have the same qualities as I don't know, maybe cedar or beechwood or alderwood. The most overpriced example is the Crockett & Jones hand grade shoe trees, which are really lacquered and polished, and I really don't like them. I really don't like those. I think they're way too overpriced. By the way, my screen, which is pretty big and very expensive, almost fell down. I almost had a heart attack. So when it comes to cedar wood, there's pretty much it's pretty much marketing. I've never thought about it as antibacterial or at least absorbing smells and moisture. I suppose it comes from I think they use cedar for moths and things like those. So I think if it works, it's a secondary function for me. I never think about it. I think more about the shape of the shoes. And if your shoes get really wet, you should probably just take a damp cloth, like just wipe the excess water and let them dry naturally away from a heat source or the sun, because that's a common mistake people do. You can see the shoes for the trees. You mean these? Or like this is the USL one, the one that I just showed. So my Splitter Derby. The regular one, the regular cedar one is just one I put on my year and shoemaker ones. It's just a generic one that fits pretty well. And the Mafte one is actually not lasted, but it's hand carved. It's from my Stingray hole cuts. So this is how it looks. So it has a wooden mechanism, and it's a bit of a disappointment that it's not lasted, but I didn't ask for it. Probably one of my least favorites. I prefer those that also have hinges. Very rare these days. More watch content in the future. So the thing is, first of all, I don't wear watches. Watches are, if you think shoes are an expensive hobby, watches are a really expensive hobby. I don't really generally like to have things around my wrists. It just feels weird and I feel like I'm in prison. So I don't wear watches. So you probably will not see watch content from me. I just happen to have this horrible Vincero watch. It was really horrible and a pretty good controversial video. If you want quality watch content, not on YouTube maybe, I recommend checking out my friend Felipe.tk. He's a Polish guy living in where is it? Switzerland. He's a really watch aficionado and he knows his stuff, and he's really good at styling them as well. He's a proper gentleman. Let's see. Seem to be very rare. Indeed. I mean, watches are an expensive hobby. You would just, my advice is just keep it simple and think of what you're trying to do. Like if I wear a proper business suit, I would not wear even a Rolex with those metallic wrists and bands. I favor more minimalist aesthetics. Oh, okay. Sorry. So many dad jokes. Sometimes yeah, watches are an expensive hobby indeed. Actually, going back to the Vincero watch thing, it's really funny. It's just if you go on the comments, it's war. It's people vehemently just throwing vitriol and acid on them for how bad they are, and then there are other people that try to nitpick the video or try to to defend Vincero and those kind of watches. In my opinion, everything that has been heavily promoted by YouTubers or bloggers with millions of people, they're probably rubbish and they're overpriced. There's only one thing that I might be able to show you if I find it, that has been heavily promoted by people. There it is. I haven't made a video. I have written in a review about it on my blog. This is what's called the Ridge wallet. It's just a metallic wallet with a band, and it's really simple to use. We put your cards in here, and it has a band on the back. It has been very minimalist, and I just pop it in here, and it's been holding out great, and it's one of the few purchases that I can recommend from something so mainstream. Love watches to wear them. You can buy very good, decent watches for less. For me, entry level, minimalist, Orient Bambino, very simple, very nice, very good, and it's like what, 150 to 100 US dollars. It's not that much. So if you're gonna have one, might as well. And if we're talking about Cartier or Vacheron Constantin or Patek Philippe, those are expensive hobbies for people that are not us. Yeah, Kevin, I got mine for free for a review, and they sent me two, and I've been wearing this and using this non-stop, and it's been great. Good Burgundy pair in offer under 300. Burgundy. Let me think. If you're going for the lower end, you would probably be looking at Mermin. There is quite possibly that you can find something from the Swedish brands Myrkvist or Skolex. Avoid another one called Morjas. It's spelled Morjas for the English people, but it's called Morjas, and they're rubbish in my opinion. And then when you go up, you're looking more at I would really recommend the Wine Shadow or Bordeaux Shadow for a penny loafer from Carlos Santos. It's pretty good. Then you go above that, so it's difficult, but those are the first few that pop into my head. I would say some of those, unless you can get something on sale, of course, right? Then maybe the range increases. Some of the French brands, Septième Largeur, might have something that would look pretty well, pretty nice as well. Yeah, Orient are pretty good. The shoe snobs, we have the shoe snobs, we have the tailoring snobs, we have the style forum snobs, we have the Reddit snobs, we have the watch snobs. They're everywhere. First five. Oh, we're going over an hour. People are asking questions. I'm happy with that. When companies mention stitches per inch in a shoe, what is considered a good amount? Obviously stitches per inch is a nice thing to have, and usually higher stitches per inch means higher attention to detail or quality in the shoe, right? For example, Yearn Shoemaker here, this is their main line. In their premium one, they quote 12 stitches per inch in their $1,000 shoe, and that's pretty good. And very, very high-end shoes and bespoke shoes and handmade shoes, you will see 14 and 16. I don't think you will go more than that. Possibly from something very special. If shoes have a rubber sole, you cannot go as high. So I would say anywhere between 6 and 8 stitches per inch are pretty good. Like you'd be pretty happy, and the aesthetics would look nice. First 5 shoes boots to rebuild the shoe wardrobe. First thing to consider is what you're going to wear them with. If you're more of the casual side, I would say definitely, well, let me think about it overall, depending on your wardrobe. If you're more of the casual side, definitely dark brown, either suede or, maybe dark brown calf chukka boots, a must. Maybe Chelsea boots as well, and then I would pick a nice, maybe black Oxford to just have it for when it's there. And then another brown shoe, probably Derby. And after that you can just go crazy. After that I would probably add maybe a monk strap, or some other more casual boot, or just dressier boot. So I think an Oxford, a Derby, and a Chukka boot are at least three most important to start with, and then you can branch out. Let's see. Berwick. So Berwick is a good recommendation actually. They have some really nice Belgian loafers, however, and for their price they're pretty decent. You should check them out for that price. They'll probably have something good as well. Hi Christopher. Have you ever thought about creating a patina and offering it on the novel shoe? I mean, we briefly talked about it before. I'm hopefully going to start learning how to make patinas and how to do my own thing. Other than that, it really needs a workshop. I can already offer you, if you want, like you buy a pair of shoes, and I can send it, collaborate with friends, or maybe even Greg Park from Hancor, and create a custom patina for you for obviously an extra charge. But are people willing to spend $400 on a shoe already and then add a patina for another 120? If you are, I mean, we can definitely do it anytime. It's not a problem. It could be, depends on it depends on the requests and what people want. Vast on sale is one of the best value option. Purely looking at Vash from a value point, yes. The problem with Vash is their shapes. Their shapes have this, most of them have this very Eastern Central European Austro-Hungarian aesthetic, and if you're not too much in those more bulky fronts or those Budapesters, then I'm not a big fan. They do have some gorgeous lasts, like I think this is the P2 and the U one that I have. It's pretty cool. So technically, yes, on sale, yes. I mean, they're pretty decent and pretty good, even on full price. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic and the fact that they were trying to keep their workers and not just fire them, they did a lot of massive sales, which was a problem because they, in a way, devalued the brand, and people now wait for sales, right? So yeah, definitely, if you find them on a good sale, definitely at least try them out. They're very good. GMTO for the shell cordovan. We already did that. When was it? October, maybe. We will possibly be doing that again, depending on what people want. They're pretty expensive. Like this is a pretty nice boot, but are people willing to spend $800, $900 for it when Carmina is not at that level and they're not necessarily better? It's also brand stigma. People don't know that Carlos Santos also has a handcrafted line that is $600 and $650 and it's pretty darn good. So there is a bit of a stigma with lower entry level ranges, and that can be a problem. If people want, I will make whatever they want, my friend. Let's see. If someone says it's pointless to buy over €100 shoe, what would be the best answer to make them consider otherwise? You should not, because you will. It's like you would waste your energy. Those people will never understand. 99% of them will never understand. I've had some people comment, and I've had some people comment on the blog and say, I've been buying €100 shoes, $100 shoes, and I'm fine, and this and this. You can find €100 shoes that are at least Blake stitched or used Goodyear welted shoes in good condition for that price. So you have no excuse not to buy the welted footwear that you can resole. If you really try to convince them, you have to help them understand why you're doing this, and that over the years, if you keep this pair and you love it and you take care of it, that you will save money in the long run. Your shoes will look better. You will hopefully look better as well. So I suppose you try to play in the strengths. Let's see. Flast is nice indeed. Yes, the ones you mentioned, Roger, they're ones of my favorites. The austerity brogues that they have are the U-Last, and they're pretty nice. For that price point, they're pretty nice. So there's another Greek message that I will translate for you. Says, hi from Athens. I like your job. I've learned a lot. Morjas look nice in the photos. Are they also so bad? So the thing with Morjas is that they've been heavily promoted, and also, you know what I hate the most about Morjas? It's their stupid naming. Like, it's like they sat down in a room and they decided that what is the name gonna be for our Oxfords? Oh, I know, I have an idea. It's going to be the Oxford. And what about the Derby? The Derby, the sneaker, the hiking boot. It just screams so lazy. Leave the minimalist to IKEA or something like this. The problem with Morjas is probably how they promote them as well. And I think they're promoting full grain leather, but it's like really polished, like bookbinder or corrected grain. And if you check a lot of real world photos after a few wears, especially on Style Forum, they look horrific. They look like they've been worn for 100 times. I do not recommend them. I do not recommend them. Should brands point out if it's benchmade rather than handmade? It seems like a marketing term. Theoretically and morally, yes, they should say that the shoe is not handmade. What they're playing it is with words, because they're saying that this is a handmade shoe because hands operated the machine, right? When maybe handcrafted is like actually crafted by hand. I think this is a lost cause, and everybody will keep using this terminology. So I think that it can be quite manipulative. I try to be quite transparent, and I urge people and consumers to do some research before purchasing or before saying, okay, my shoes are handmade. Any thought on Belgian shoes? So there are Belgian shoes. You mean Belgian brands? Because there are a couple, I think. But I think you mean Belgian loafers. So Belgian loafers. Loafers are not my thing. I think they look really stupid on my feet. I don't think I can wear them, especially penny loafers. I would maybe consider some Belgian suede loafers, probably with a nice color, something summer for the summer, and something lightweight. I think they can look cool. If you're on a budget, I would really recommend looking at Berwick, starting with Berwick. They make some really nice ones for the entry level. Other than aesthetics, are there any structural advantages for the 270 over 360 degree welt? No, not at all. There is no difference. I mean, the only difference that you will see, it will be the aesthetic. Here on the heel, you can get a tighter heel usually with 270, and no, because at here you still have to attach the heel point, so it really has no structural difference. There is enough shoe integrity for the 3/4 at least that you will not need anything more than that. Lazy and boring. A fun name is yeah. So my friend Kevin here has a chakaboot that is called biche, pretty much because it's sort of like a play on the French word, and I make fun of it because I call it beach. Of the countries you visited, which ones people you met on the street had the nicest shoe culture, male or female? I don't know. I've lived in Sweden and people wear sneakers, and that's not nice. Like ugly sneakers. We're not talking about some nice sneakers. In Finland, it was minus 25 and full of ice and snow, so there were no shoes. You have like galoshes, and then I'm here in Italy, and surprisingly, the shoe quality that you see is not so good. People do wear nicer looking shoes like Oxfords and Styles, I mean, but they're still not so great as I expected. I suppose on a larger scale, if you go in a very big city in, let's say, New York, you'll probably see a lot of good shoe culture potentially. But from the ones that I visited, I think possibly Italy so far, even though it's not the nicest. Oh, the Belgian shoes brand. I've heard about them, but I really don't know much. Uh, I can't see myself reviewing any of those anytime soon because I have way too many shoes already, and I'm trying to get rid of some. So if you are a UK8 or US 9D and you're looking for shoes, let me know. You were talking about Mermin. I got a pair of them once and they were not too good for me. The stitching was off and they hurt my feet forever before I could wear them. So Danny, there are two things about Mermin. First of them, at least Mermin does not pretend they are $600 shoes. And even though they're, say, made in Spain, we all know that they're made in China. And since they cost so little, they're bound to cut corners, and some of them is the thermoplastic that they use inside the lining, and the lower or stiffer leather quality. And when you buy $200 shoes, you should expect hit and miss. It can be unfortunate. I've heard people that the last just fits them too well. Maybe this last does not fit you too well, and maybe you just got a bad batch. But I personally would save up $100 more and buy something better. Any takes on American brands like Alden, Thursday Boots, or Allen Edmonds? So it's difficult. I think the only good thing American brands do well are service boots and boots that I will never wear. Alden is overpriced for sure. They do have a certain distinctive style. Like those tankers or their sell cordovan boots, but I still think they cost too much. But that comes with the thing of making them in the USA. Allen Edmonds are I want to say junk, but I don't want to be too rude. The problem with Allen Edmonds are that they're not what they used to be 10-15 years ago. They're more interested in mass production, and they're cutting corners, and they're not made entirely in the USA anymore. They're partly made in the Dominican Republic, but they still say made in the USA. Allen Edmonds are good shoes for North Americans because you can get them at 50% sale 100% of the time. Thursday boots are same as Mermin. You buy $200 shoes, you get $200 shoes quality. What I don't like about Thursday boots is how they promote themselves to be like $600 shoes, and they're not. For $200, they're okay. You like the aesthetics, get them, absolutely. Nettleton. So Nettleton I've only heard things about, and I know they made some vintage things, and you will probably find them on eBay like vintage Florsheim. And I have no idea about any of the new shoes that they might be making. I cannot say anything, but their vintage stuff are decent. I own the Thursday boot Chakas. They're very solid construction, noticeably heavy, very casual. Oh, exactly. I mean, it's an everyday good beater shoe for what, $200 US. If you go with that mindset that I'm buying a $200 shoe and I'm getting a decent shoe, then it's a decent shoe. If you think that oh, I'm gonna buy these and I'm disappointed because I expected $600 shoes, then you will be disappointed. What about Santoni in terms of quality? Oh, actually, people are asking questions. Okay, we will go on for a little more. Santoni is the same as Salvatore Ferragamo. Overpriced and quite junk for the price, the full price. The biggest problem with Santoni and these kind of brands is that they have such a convoluted range that you don't know what you're buying. Like if you buy obviously from the super high end, then they're going to be good shoes, but they're still going to be overpriced because you pay the brand name and the marketing. If you can find them for 50% off, they might be okay. For Ferragamo, for anyone wondering, anything you buy over $2,500 is good. If you buy anything below, still overpriced. If you buy anything below that, you should PayPal the money to me instead. So let's see. Hello to the other people from the USA as well. Opinion about Crown Hill and Alaska. Crown Hill, I'm not sure. Are those the guys that make the sneakers, or are they the British brand that makes some just Goodyear welted shoes? I really don't know anything about them. What I suppose is they're going to be just decent shoes, like nothing spectacular. Velasca actually, I just found out today that 10 minutes from my house they have a store, so I will be checking them out. They are okay. Usually they make Blake stitch shoes, so they're not Goodyear welted, and they're a little bit overpriced maybe for being Blake stitch shoes for that segment, but they're okay. I mean, if you're looking for a more lightweight shoe and decent aesthetics and a bit more budget, I think they'll be okay to try. Would you ever consider a bespoke shoe? If yes, who would you visit? Well, technically I do have one from Mario Bemmer, which is probably somewhere around here. If you want to check it out, let me know. And I'm not sure because first of all, I'm going to study bespoke shoemaking, and I'm going to be one myself. I never had this thirst to try a bespoke shoe from someone specific. Very strange. If I did, it would be from one of the Italians, probably. Paolo Scafora or Antonio Macariello. I would like to make my shoes. Probably those two. Of course, I like the Japanese shoes, but I think they're way too perfect. And waiting 3 years for a pair of shoes is like, no. Luckily, my foot is quite simple, and I can fit in most ready-to-wear lasts. So with slight modifications, I can work most brands. So yeah, of course, I'd love to, but I'd rather visit a bespoke tailor instead first. Crown Hill are from Spain. If they're from Spain, it's very possible that they're from Bespoke factory, which is totally not bespoke at all. If they're from Spain, they're gonna be decent. I would avoid them. I think you can do better for your money. Leather soles versus thin rubber soles. When and when? There is a shift in the industry towards more either more bulky soles like Commando and more city soles. You will see Crockett and Jones are changing a lot of their models into city soles, and they're pretty cool. They're pretty functional. They're a little bit grippier, I think. I would take any day of the week leather soles, especially where I live. I don't know why. They're lightweight, and I have not resoled the shoe in three years that I've been collecting. I've never resoled the shoe. So the Yoshal one, like this is its condition, single leather sole. I swear I've done 50 kilometers walking in them, and they're like I can barely see a scratch. They've been performing really well. So, and if I had to replace something, probably it would be something like from the heel stack. And because it's real like proper leather heel stack, you can just remove one layer and the cobbler can change it for next to no cost. George Cleverly. So George Cleverly, how to say it? I say George Cleverly can. No. I have to be polite. I don't like them. I think they're overpriced, and I will never try them. They also have a very bad reputation of being really nasty people. I haven't dealt with them personally, but no, thank you. I would buy Gaziano Girling instead. Best Chelsea boots in terms of value for the money. If you're looking for a modern aesthetic, people have been loving the Carlos Santos ones for about $300 or a little more. I've been loving the quality of Septième Largeur through the Patina service there. Carmina has some nice ones as well. Value for the money and for what you get. For a really nice classic one, I think the Crockett & Jones Lingfield is a little bit more high up on the price point, but they are really phenomenal. Great leather, great look, great construction. I think they're phenomenal for about 650. For the lowest price segment, it's difficult to say. It depends on what aesthetic you like. You can get good ones from usually the Spanish makers, I would say. Who do you visit for a bespoke shoot? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a guy that is going to go to Savile Row. I'm not a big fan. Like, I don't know. Even through the heritage and everything, it's just not gives me the fuzz. I think I would go to a nice tailor in Napoli or somewhere here in Italy and just sew a really nice suit and just work with a really old traditional guy that is just gonna sew something for me. So probably Italy. It will be probably Italy. That's what I would say. Let's see. Whoa, I caught up. I caught up with most of the questions. Let's see. Let's do about 10 more minutes. See if there are any more questions and everything. And because it's 12:30 tomorrow, I'm going to Lanieri in Bologna, which is quite close, and I'm going to make a made-to-measure shoot there. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully, if that goes well, I will try to make it the first like clothing video here on the channel. The second ever video I think I did was on Charles Tirit, like some shirts I got from them. It was really horrible quality. It was in my old house, and yeah, it was a really bad experience as well. I got 4 or 5 shirts and I instantly returned them. Terrible, absolutely terrible. Any other shirt MTM brand that I posted a good experience with? No, not really. But I've heard the best things about Proper Cloth, and Suit Supply still makes decent made-to-measure ones if it's a bit more accessible if you go to the shop. It can be a bit more limited because they don't have as many swatches, but I think it's pretty decent. I will consider doing one at Lanieri while I'm there tomorrow. We will see. Not made to measure, but Eton, which is a Swedish brand, quite expensive. They make really nice ready-to-wear ones, like really durable, great quality. I can really recommend checking them out. Maybe you can get them on sale. Spire McKay, I've heard good things if you're around the States as well. Do you watch other YouTube shoe videos? Rarely. Who am I supposed to watch? I don't watch Kirby Allison because I can't. I don't want to. I do watch Hugo Giacomet from A Parisian Gentleman. If he does, also sometimes he does some shoe features. I watch when I want to see like variety, some things from my friend John from Wisconsin Shoe Guy. When I want to learn about patina, I watch MB Shoe Doc, Mike Baldinger, a good friend of mine. I don't watch so much Justin Fitzpatrick, who's also a friend, because I think his showcases are a bit more bare bones, and I wish he spoke more about the bad things that the shoes have. Welted Wear, Ashwin, my friend from the States and Detroit, Seattle. We started this journey together, and his collection is growing really well. I think those are the ones when it comes to shoes, I would say. I am still subscribed to Vladimir Riche, sorry, and unfortunately he stopped making videos. What brown suede chaka you recommend that is true size 6 like the Santos and Cobbler Union, but they run big and don't have a 5.5? If you want one of mine, you can contact me, in the next round of restocks, and I can definitely make you one for in your size. Cobbler Union could potentially accommodate you as well when it comes to that. True to size, you would be probably looking at Loke. You would be potentially looking at 7e Largeur if you're looking at French brands. Possibly Carmina, TLB Mallorca. They would probably be able to make something for you. Those are the ones that I would look at, probably. Kirby's videos anymore. I bet Kirby, he was quite pleasant, but his videos are just a giant product placement. Like, no, not for me. I would rather watch his shoe shining videos, but if he says one more time Shafir Renovateur or Shafir 1925 Pomadier, I will go crazy. Yes, I'm still going. Hugo. Hugo is a really, really nice man. Like, I've actually met him, and he's as pleasant as you see him in the videos as he is in real life. And I haven't met his wife, but she's adorable, and for me, both of them are couple goals. Vladimir is fine. There was a lot of toxicity that people have to deal with in YouTube, but Vladimir has a really unique style, and he has a really, what do you say, cult or strong following, and I really hope he comes back at some point, or someone similar to him at least takes the mantle. I bought a pre-owned 8-ounce shirt from eBay. If it's great and it's a fraction of the price. There you go. My first really, really good shirt was from Eton, and I have it for 3.5 years now, and it's going, like, I can see myself wearing it for another 10 years. It's phenomenal. Vladimir, yes, learning from Vlad. It's a real shame he's gone. The only problem with Vladimir is that his experience when it comes to shoes is more on the basic level. Like, what is a good year? Well, when to wear this, when to wear that, when to style that. So it's more difficult to go into more in-depth details. And that's one of the reasons that I'm going to shoe school now, because I do know quite enough, I would say, compared to the general population when it comes to shoes. But I really want to know why and how from the inside. Like, is there an advantage into putting a real heel stack from leather, or putting a really a leather counter here on the back, or on the front, on the top of it, instead of elastic? Or why do we do this? Or how do we fix this? Is there any point into making a fiddleback, etc.? So that's something I'm trying to expand on. I don't think that it's very commercial, because people just want to see the top of things and just the facade, but I think it could be great. Vladimir has a sense of style and humor, and he was really pleasant to watch. Hugo and Sonia are lovely and genuine. That's true. For me, like, at least I met Hugo. He was really, really, really pleasant, and I look forward to meeting them again. We're buying from Alden. What's your opinion? I already talked a bit about Alden. Alden has quite a unique aesthetic. I think they're overpriced, but I mean, for the American market, they're still strong. What I don't like about Alden is the ownership, because there was a lot of controversy about the latest CEO that spent $20 million on a bimbo from the company coffers. So I can see myself wearing them, but if you love the aesthetics and you can get them for a decent price and you're happy with the fit, that's all you need to know. Wear them in good health. Eyewear from the brand Isaiah. So funny thing, one day I sold a pair of shoes to the store manager of the Isaiah store in Chicago. He's a really pleasant guy, and I checked their shoots and everything's like $4,000 or $5,000, and they're, my God, they're so expensive. I would never buy them, because for this price I can sew something in Napoli. However, they're, I think, genuinely handmade, like hand sewn, and I would think that their eyewear is probably like this. I don't wear much eyewear, especially since I lived in Sweden for 7 years and there is no sun. If you think about the Matrix movies, the original Matrix movies, where there's no sun, that's how Sweden is. So here I need to get sunglasses, and I'm probably gonna do laser surgery for my eyes. So eyewear, I'm not that good. MB Shoe Doc, Peter Hans in brown. Very exciting patina combo worth checking out. Peter Hunt were supposed to send me a pair of Chelsea boots, and they never did. Thankfully, I'm happy they didn't do it because I have too many shoes, not for another reason. I think Peter Hunt's shoes are made from Bespoke factory as well, so a bit generic from Spain. I do like what they're doing with their patina. It's a bit more unique, I think. They probably finish them in-house, I suppose. If you like the aesthetics, can be decent. Why not? When I watch shoe repair channels, I watch a few as well. Trenton and Heath, Beddoes Leatherworks, etc. The jamming gets loose. Why is holdfast used more often? Jamming high-end shoes. Ludwig, I cannot answer that for you, unfortunately, because I don't know so much about shoe construction to answer this confidently. And it's one of the reasons that I'm going to attend Bespoke Shoe School for. But high-end shoes that are hand-welted, at least, they don't have such things, right? I think Macariello, for example, does something with a jamming. Unfortunately, I cannot answer that for you properly without risking making myself a fool. So hopefully, in a few months, I will be able to. Is Mermaid Maestro line the only affordable hand-welted shoe? I would rather you PayPal me the money instead of buying Mermaid Linea Maestro. That's what I think of them. Probably the cheapest ones that you can buy hand-welted and probably handmade are Vash on sale, and the Year and Shoemaker ones for $3.99 for their base models. It's proper handmade. They're pretty decent. And for $400 compared to what is Linea Maestro, $350 or something, I would take a Year and Shoemaker 100 times over those. Besides the basics colors black and brown, what color do customers purchase the most? So you would be surprised. Of course, people love burgundy and burgundy shades, oxblood, because it's very versatile. You can wear it with everything. Other than that, people go quite crazy. Usually more in group made to orders because the color is usually not so, or contemporary or classic, and they can go crazy. For example, the boots we made last month, they were like totally crazy in this cherry color Scots green patina. I would say shades of red and shades of red and shades of lighter brown. I would say do the best. I would love to see more shades of blue and dark green. They're really versatile and I really love them. RGR tanneries were closing, but then we bought another tannery. Do you think it will be the same quality? I think it will be the same quality. They bought the recipe and the way to make it. I think it will be the same. There are very good soles anyways from other brands. I think Baker's has really good ones. So don't it's not the end of the world if you don't buy JR soles. If you have a good collection of shoes, they will last a long time most of the time as well. So I mean, if you can get JR, go ahead. Mine have been pretty good so far. Laser surgery is great. I highly recommend. Jeremy, it makes me a little uncomfortable to think about it, but I will definitely do it. I suppose, I mean, for me it's not a secret anymore, but last year, a few months ago, I did surgery and I did a hair transplant, so I'm waiting to see how that works out for me. So far the results are starting to come in, and the next step for me is to fix my eyes, because I have a really bad eyesight and I can't see the keys and what's written on them without glasses, unfortunately. Thank you for sharing your passion for shoes and offering great, affordably priced, beautiful, unique patina shoes. You're very welcome, Ignacio. It's a difficult industry to be in. I'm surprised that so many good companies have such shocking customer service, and what that deters me from buying from them. And it's also what I try to do in my shop. And I mean, it's still a lot of money to pay. $300 is a lot of money to pay for a shoe, but it's pretty good for an entry level that will last you for a long time. It's a good investment. And a recommendation for a pair of Oxblood Austerity Brogue Oxfords. Daniel, it depends on your budget. Austerity brogues are not so popular, so people you would find these mostly as made to orders or higher price shoes. The first one that comes to mind would be Vash made to order. Possibly, probably, it will also be TLB Mallorca, probably also made to order. Those are the first that pop up. Soul savers, if you have GR souls. I'm sorry, what are soul savers? Are those kind of, you mean inserts that you glue like a City Soul insert on the bottom? If you mean that, I mean, I have a lot of clients that buy the City Soul inserts or like rubber inserts. It does help, but really, if you have shoes to rotate, you will never wear those soles out, not in the next 5 years. Oh, we went over the timer. All right. Let's do a last final stretch, maybe for 14 more minutes, and because it's gonna be 1 a.m. here, even though I'm actually quite enjoying it. But I think that's what I'm gonna do with the channel. I'm gonna do some more, hopefully, guides. I'm gonna do some comparison of shoe trees. I'm gonna do some comparison maybe of shoe bags, because I have a ton of them, or even shoe boxes and shoe bags, and some clothing, hopefully. And we will see. I've been working out, having some help maybe from a photographer or a filmmaker, renting a studio, do something more professional, because if I show you how my house is right now, it's like the reactor of Chernobyl after the first day. Concerning resoling, I use the local cobbler in Bristol where I currently live. Always support your local cobbler, but always verify that they're qualified and good at their job. I would always start with letting them work on lower quality shoes that you are okay with messing up, maybe, potentially, and then bring them something better. Be careful. I often feel nervous taking a decent Goodyear shoe for a resole is a perfect protection problem with them doing a good job. Yeah, exactly like I just said, right? Do Carlos and the shoes bought from the Noble Shoe get resold in Portugal from you? I think I can resole them in Portugal for you, but usually I would take them to my cobbler in Sweden, where my shop is located as well. And they also do the installations for metal toe tips and City Soul inserts, etc. For my shoes. And they've been open for over 100 years, and they're great people, and they do great jobs. Sorry. Well, if only it came out. What's my favorite 3 brands? Carlos Santos, Giosal, and Paulo Scafara. That was the first that comes to mind for the 3 price segments. If I have to think about other brands that I don't work with, then it would be... actually, I really like Patina, so it would be Chetem Largeur. I really like them. It would still be Giosal. Not Vash. It would be Giosal, and at the high end it would probably be Macariello or Norman Villalta. If Rogue Killer Robots would force me to get a pair of purple shoes, what would they be and what would I wear with them? So I've actually made quite a few purple shoes. One of the guys was actually on the channel not so long ago. Who knows if he's still there? He bought purple loafers for them. And there was another guy, Mike, who's one of my best clients, but also a really good friend. And he's going through a really rough time right now. And one of the split toe derbies that I have on the shop, I made him a custom one in a purple patina, because it has sentimental value to him, and probably one of my favorite pairs. For me, what would I get? Not loafers, not Oxfords. I think it would probably be monk straps. because they're already a bit, suave enough that it would be okay. What would I wear? I think I would wear something like this with brighter colored pants, probably cream or maybe khaki, but probably beige, so they make a nice contrast, but make them the statement piece of the outfit. Because as you can see, even this is sort of like purple, right? So in small doses it can be okay. Ace Mark sells Goodyear welter shoes every once in a while. Consider them marking history. How good would you say quality one can expect? I would never ever buy Ace Mark shoes. First of all, because like I said before, when people over promote a pair of shoes, it's usually not that good. And my rule of thumb is if you see a pair of shoes in real men, real style, run away. And I would run away. Another clue is when you look at a brand that has only one shape for all of their shoes. That is lazy and usually not a great sign. So I would stay away from Ace Marks. I don't think they would be, that terrible, but I would not buy it at full price. Absolutely not. Paul Parkman. What do you want me to say about Paul Parkman? Part of me really wants to take a pair of shoes and just blast them on stream or something. Or who knows, maybe they can be decent quality, but their aesthetics, they're trying too hard. Their naming tries to sound very modern and sort of American or British, but they're not, right? They're made in Turkey, and I would never buy them. No, just potentially one time for a review, just for a laugh. Purple split toe or monster would be great. Possibly. Real men, real shit. I call them real men, real crap. I don't think the guy that, the guy that runs the show, he's a businessman, right? He's doing what's best for his business. He's a sellout in many ways, and people buy into it. I don't think he's a bad guy, or he doesn't know about stuff. I think those kind of channels are okay if you're just entering menswear and you're trying to get the really core basics. The problem with these channels, what's the other one? Alpha male. Alpha male I hate the most. Teaching men's crap is the other one, and the other short guy that I've had a fight with. Generally, they're not among my favorites. And when you find a channel that has a guide and a video on how to shower, then you know that you should probably look at your life from a different perspective and take a step back. Or when they keep promoting videos like how not to be ugly, how to attract women. What kind of bullshit is that? Like, you're trying to be attractive first for yourself, whatever attractive means to you. You're trying to look proper, to look fashionable, at least to have your own sense of style, and to be nice to people. And when you're genuine and you're well mannered and you also dress nice and you're interesting, people will want to be around you. I guess you mean Justin Fitzpatrick. Justin is a friend, so I will never review his shoes. I'm pretty sure they're pretty decent quality. Maybe the price is a bit higher, but I don't really know what goes into them. The problem with Justin shoes is they are very, very niche and way too bold and very, very focused on things like button boots. And I don't wear those and I don't like them. So if you're into the aesthetics and you have the budget, they will be good quality. I'm pretty sure. Shoes worn by alpha male. Does he even wear shoes? Do hobbits wear shoes? I don't like that man. I don't like the man. I don't like his attitude. I don't like his energy. So I don't know what he's wearing. But it's probably just for promotion. 40 over fashion. How to shower? Yeah, it's true. It's a thing. It's a thing. Like if you go on Google or like on YouTube right now and write how to shower, he legit has a video on that. Like it's unbelievable. Uh, what else to say? I can't think of anything else. There's still 30 people in here. They're businessmen. They will recommend and shit if sponsor didn't take any shit advice for them. That's true. As long as you go with an open mind and understanding that not everything that shine is gold, uh, you can get some okay content sometimes. But remember, if you take a bag of shit, very smelly shit, and you sprinkle genuine gold on them, it's still a pile of shit, right? It will still smell bad. So that's pretty much what those companies and those people are doing. A guy using alpha male says that he's a beta male looking for attention. It is quite possible. Also, part of the job is that there is live chat and people keep asking questions. So please allow me just a moment. It's very funny that people just actually go and write a lot of weird things on the chat, or sometimes they disappear and they don't come back. So, for example, this person here is asking for the Crocodile John Harlech, which is a really nice boot, similar to the Santos one, actually pretty similar. And it comes in dark brown shell cordovan, but it also comes in whiskey, which is more like a tan color, and that's an exclusive. All right, sorry about that. But business is business. I vouch for Gentleman's Gazette. They will tell you setting a product out right. That's true. I've spoken to Rafael. He's a really nice guy. I still think that a little bit of some of their content is too much, and there is way too much in depth for etiquette and morning dresses and some weird stuff people do not wear anymore. And unfortunately, I cannot stand that other guy with the glasses, Preston, I think, with his name. I cannot stand him. I'm sorry, unfortunately. Gentleman's Gazette is really good if you want to learn more about the history of certain things. So if you want to hear about the history of monstraps, the history of foxwords, he spends a lot of time doing research. You can get a lot of good content from there. But he also has a bit more bigger build and strange, so sometimes it's funny to see some clothes that don't look great, or his style is different. You can learn a bit more from him for sure. What's my favorite English brand of shoes? Do I like Chinis? Chinis, they're nice shoes, but probably my favorite brand for value is Crockett & Jones. If you're looking for country style shoes, it's Trickers. Even if I don't have them, they're really pleasant people to talk to. And for the higher end, I would only buy Graziano and Girling. Yeah, you see, like Tony says, it got you into classic menswear. You can start with something, and then when you want to learn more, you can go to the next level, which is, I don't know, maybe Parisian gentleman. I almost said permanent style, and I vomited inside. I don't like Preston so much, but I mean, if you do, that's all you need to know. It's strange for me. GG hasn't been great since they added the new dudes. Up for discussion. Personal preference, I suppose. Opinion on Elegant Oxford. Actually, another Preston has bought shoes from me before. Like I was really happy. He's probably one of the best shoe shiners you can find. I don't watch so much of his content because I'm not so great about signing, like shoe shining. But overall, he's pretty nice. I do think that some of his latest sponsored posts, I would say they're a bit very specific, but he's worth a watch, especially if you want to learn about shoe sizing. Sorry about that. Multitasking. Let's see. Would you say Loke has any good value in terms of budget shoes? Uh, if you like the classic aesthetic of Kalinichta, to my Greek friend, thank you for joining. If you like the classic British aesthetic, yeah, why not? I would probably buy something else for that price point. Be careful if you buy just their local range. Be careful because some of them are made in India, and I would definitely stay away from those. All right. Let's see. If there are any more questions, I'll be glad to answer for another like 5 minutes, probably. And probably I will also go to sleep as well soon. But don't worry, if you have some questions, just shoot them now. Do you think the Chinese shoe manufacturers will upset the shoe market, meaning they will force prices down in the next 5 years? No. If anything, the prices will go up, my friends. So what the Chinese and generally the Asian shoe industry is doing right now is disrupting the industry. Yeosal is a prime example because they offer fantastic quality and value for a relatively low price. And I mean the same as Year, and also get $400 for handmade shoes. The good thing about the serious Chinese brands and Asian brands is that they keep trying to improve, or at least what I see. So they're trying to push the envelope, while other brands, they just sit there in the safe space like the British ones and just stand there and wait for, I don't know, just remaining as classic as possible. They refuse to change, right? Now, since they refuse to change, I think that the prices will stay the same, and they will go up because the leather industry has been suffering for the last year due to COVID, and the sourcing raw materials has gone up, and there will be price increases in every shoe brand, probably including my own in the next 6 months, I would say. And I hope all the brands make them. Which reminds me of, I'm really surprised nobody asked me that. Like, have you ever heard or thought about Undandi shoes? So, if you're in for a laugh, like a proper laugh, you should go to their Facebook page, check the visitor posts, or check their Instagram and check the comment section. It's all out warfare. They're really horrible what they're doing. They should really shut down, and they should have a massive lawsuit because they're still taking orders and they don't deliver after 6-9 months. They don't give refunds. They're a really shady business, and stay away from them. Speaking of Indian shoes, oh, I forgot. Wow, questions already. Loke L1 is not too good. I agree. Stay away from those. The most boring shoe type, theoretically, it's the Oxford, right? I mean, in a way, it's as boring as it gets. It's classic. It will never change. It's hard to do different things on it. And in a way, it's the most boring. That or the Derby, I would say. That doesn't mean that you don't need it or you should not have it. Speaking of Indian shoes, Bridland seems like a good brand in fair value. They're designed in Japan. I don't know where they're designed. I know they're made in India. And they're a bit of a newer brand. And be careful. I don't like their last. They look a bit flat. They're probably okay quality. But also remember they're shipping from India. And I don't know if there are going to be import taxes or duties. So you might want to think about that cost as well. They will not be my first choice. I would give them a few more years to be respected and build like a proper base first. Let's see. Hi Craig. Great help educating shoemakers, helping find styles, deciding. Thank you, Craig, for all your support all this time. I really appreciate it. How do you approach building a classic wardrobe from scratch? I would first think about what I want, how I want to look. am I building a classic wardrobe for the office, or am I going for something more versatile for outside, right? Because that's the building block of what you're trying to do. If you're trying to build a wardrobe that's mostly made of suits, you're going to go for a more formal approach, and you will be more Oxfords, you will be more dressier boots, derbies, and maybe some monk straps. If you're going for the more versatile aesthetic, then you can expand, and I would recommend, like I said before, a shoe from each segment. So you would have one Oxford at least, maybe a black one, a dark brown derby shoe, a pair of Chelsea boots maybe, or at least dark brown chacas, or maybe in suede, and then you can maybe add a loafer or some kind of monk strap if you want to add some more variety, right? And also do not also take a really nice simple minimalist sneaker, nothing too fancy. Let's see, so great videos. Thanks Daniel, thanks for being here. Undandi, yeah, that's absolutely hilarious. Just check them out. Permanent style is pretty cool, and why the hate? Simon is he has an opinion about everything, and he's a bit too posh. And for me, he's very biased on a lot of things, and I don't like his writing style, and for some reason I don't like him. When I was sitting at dinner with Mario Bemer 2 months ago, he told me either he doesn't like him or he refused to make shoes for him, one or the other, and all this kind of thing about like his latest thing about not wearing pocket squares and then wearing a California, like he's a British guy wearing California hat or something like a baseball cap. Yeah, I don't like it very much. Have Carlos Santos rough out suede on hand to display live? Unfortunately not, because I sent that to the client already. Sorry, I don't have anything in rough out suede. I do have the boots that are on group made to order right now, the by material, by color field boots. If you want to check them out, I do have them, but I will also make a video, a small showcase in the next few days. Thanks for the direction. Have a good one. Ismail, thank you for joining, and have a really good night. I appreciate you. Is it possible to have quality polished binder leather in like some church shoes? Binder leather and all those kind of polished leathers do not have to be bad. They're not terrible, at least in the higher end. Churches are of course overpriced, but I would value regular calf much more than those. I would look at something like Crockett and Jones if you want to something that's quality and still affordable. Permanent style is exactly, it's very hardcore. It's focused too much on things that people cannot afford, like really most of us cannot afford. It's a nice way to live a lifestyle, to live through someone else, like to see what's possible. Mario Bemer related to Stefano Bemer. He's his brother. Well, was his brother, and he's a really nice guy. I met him. I've been corresponding with him for about 2 years, and I met him for dinner about 2 months ago, and he made me a pair of amazing chaka boots, and you should watch the video if you haven't yet. Roger, thanks for joining for so long as well. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Any other questions that I've missed? Shoot them now, and we can wrap this up. How often and what days will you have live sessions? In a way, it's been a little underwhelming because we've got 2,000 subscribers and there's been 20-30 viewers. I really hope there were more people to ask more stuff. If you like this, we could maybe have a shoe discussion. I don't know. Maybe once a month or twice a month, like a small 1 hour segment where we or you can pick via a poll some kind of topic, and we can talk about it for like 30 minutes or 1 hour or something like this. Thank you, Craig. Nice seeing you here as well. All right, I'll give it 2 more minutes or so. Any last questions? Thanks again everyone for being here, especially if you're in Europe. It's quite late here. For me it's 1 a.m. don't worry about me. I don't sleep late. Sorry, I sleep late. And if you're in somewhere like Australia, good morning. If you're in the US, I hope you had a really nice day. Thank you, Danny, for being here. I really appreciate it all. I will still leave the whole upload probably on YouTube for people to watch if they want to rewind and hear something again. What color were the single monk straps you received from Yearn? So I got them right here actually, and it's called the dark brown patina. It's a dark brown with slightly some lighter brown areas and some heavier burnishing along the edges. Vicky, thank you very much, and have a really nice weekend, and your shoes will be coming soon. Moika, I guess. Thank you for this. Spoke to you today about this austerity blog. Tony, of course, it's my pleasure to help. One way or the other, we can work it out. Good night. Manchester was the first. My first trip abroad was to the UK, and I went to Manchester actually. I was 17, 18 years ago. So loved Manchester. For you it's 2 a.m. Daniel, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. And have a good night, my friend. I hope to see you again. Can you comment on buffalo leather? Actually, I did. If you go onto my blog and you search for a duffel bag, I have done a review on buffalo leather. I don't know if I would recommend it on shoes unless you get like a shrunken buffalo or some type of grain leather. But for bags and things like this, it is a little bit more grainy at points, and it's maybe not as smooth as calf, but it's really, really durable. It's a few more times more durable. It's a good choice, I would say, for leather goods like bags or accessories. Maybe not shoes. At least that's what I think. You don't see them so often in shoes, right? If you're looking for shoes, I would recommend kudu, like antelope leather, and proper Scotch grain. Deer is also really nice if you're looking for more exotic. It's a bit more rare, but it's really, really supple leather, and it makes amazing gloves. And if you're looking also for a bit more niche things, you should try peccary, which is pigskin. It has a really unique texture. And if you're making wallets and you want something even more unique, you should try ostrich, but you should try ostrich leg. It's not the classic one that you see with a little dots on it. It has a really great texture. And that's about it. All right. Any last question before we wrap this up? It's been great so far. Thank you so much. I didn't expect that I would be talking for 2 hours and 12 minutes so far. So that's been great. Thank you very much for joining. All right, let's give it a minute, and after that I will say good night or good day to every one of you. And maybe we can do this again. If you enjoyed, please just let me know. And if you want to do this again, and just pick a topic and just speak about it, where there is the state of the industry, or shoes, or a specific style, or something that you would be interested in, even tailoring, let me know. Harold, take care, my friend, and I really appreciate you being here. What's the best leather for snow weather? It's difficult to say. I would probably say, when it comes to calf, probably something like Scotch grain, because if it seems to me that it can take the beating better. So far, the best one I found is kudu, antelope leather. Really good, like really durable, and potentially some kind of really rough-out suede with a lot of wax on it, on the top. Knitwear brands you would recommend? Kelvin, I'll write to you later, my friend. Knitwear brands. Right now, I only buy cashmere for my knitwear. I've purged all my wardrobe and I only buy cashmere. And the only brand I actually buy from is this one. It's called Gobi Cashmere from Mongolia, and they're really affordable and really, really good quality for what you get. I'm very, very happy with them. Then you got, I don't like the Shoe Supply knitwear. It's a bit too thin and a little bit overpriced. When it comes to merino wool, it really varies. I think most brands can offer some decent quality, but at the moment I only buy cashmere, or I would consider alpaca. Alpaca is also really lovely. All right. I think, my friends, it's 2 hours and 50 minutes. I think we can wrap this up. Um, if anyone has any further question or whatever, you know where to find me. You can just always just message me on Instagram or something. Thank you very much for joining. I really appreciate it. I hope it was okay for a first stream. Let me know if you want to do this again. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Or wait, should we wrap this up with a bad dad joke? But I'm not prepared. I have to think of something nasty to say. Right? Like it's not gonna be something like I love telling dad jokes, but sometimes he laughs. That's quite generic. Uh, but there's usually inappropriate ones that I cannot say on stream. Good night, Daniel. Thank you very much for joining. Uh, uh, Anyone has a good dad joke to say that is culturally appropriate for the time? Um, no. Let's think about it, and next time I will be more prepared. All right, my friends. Thank you very much for joining, and as we always say, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.